Rotten apples. Hello from New York City. It's sweltering. It's freezing here, actually. Maybe Apple's friends and family, you guys won't care, but it's about 10 degrees here, but we have not had a winter until today.
It is so cold.
But it's been 50 here, and then we're down to single digits. Hence the hat. This is episode number 4.
Episode 4.
If you haven't seen the other or listened to the last 3 episodes, I highly recommend it, especially the piano lesson. It's an expansive journey of August Wilson. But this week on the podcast, what are we reviewing?
We're reviewing Kate.
Kate.
Starring Kate Berlant.
I don't know if she's super well known, but she's a comedian, actor, lots of credits. She's in A League of Their Own on Amazon. She's in the movie.
The movie that Charlie fell asleep in. Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. I think it goes without saying at this point.
Should I just stop mentioning that you fall asleep in every movie, including the ones that you make me watch?
I want you to get your own interpretation of them.
I want to enjoy the experience with somebody, but apparently it's not going to be Charlie.
So, Kate is playing at the Connolly Theater in the East Village. It was a short run. We actually got what we thought was the last night of the show. We heard Burnham was directing, so we were interested.
The first run of Kate happened last fall. It was kind of on my radar, but not really, until it was almost too late. So we luckily got rush tickets to see Kate on its closing night when it was doing its run in the fall. And it has now come back. So, and it's February now? February 2023. And I'll let you take that from there.
We had literally standing, like we stood in the very back row against a board. One other couple was standing. Their rush tickets it's always a mixed bag because sometimes you get front row seats like you had at the Daniel Radcliffe play that I always forget.
Merrily we roll along.
And then this one we were literally pressed against a board and stood. And luckily it's a short play. It's a runtime of only about an hour, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
No intermissions. No need for a bathroom unless you really are battling some prostate issues. And if you are, I wish you well in your journey. But I absolutely loved this play. I thought it was funny.
It's not really a play.
Okay.
It's a one-woman show.
One-woman show. I loved this one-woman show. It was great the way she used technology. She used it as a kind of an immersion where you got there. She's sitting there.
When you enter the lobby of the Connolly Theater, it's set up kind of like a
installation.
Yes, an art installation where the subject of the art installation is Kate Berlant herself. And she is actually sitting in the lobby with a sign that says, "Don't talk to me." But she just sits there on a bench. And there's relics of her life that are set up around the lobby, including like her outfit, the sandy beach of
Santa Monica,
where she grew up. They took actual, I don't know if it's real, but they took quote unquote actual sand and put it in a space, and they ask you to walk through the sand to really immerse yourself in the experience of Kate. They also have a small little room where they set up a recreation of her childhood living room.
I'm a callback to Pictures Home.
Oh yeah.
Pictures from Home.
Yeah, a little bit. And we got there a little bit early. We were wandering around, and we were standing in the recreation of our childhood living room. And what happened, Charlie? Charlie started kicking my shin.
Well, you were in Phoneville again.
No, I wasn't.
Not enjoying the moment.
I was enjoying the moment. I was looking at so in her childhood living room, there was like shag carpet, which is very similar to the shag carpet that I grew up with. And there was a TV with a couch and some knickknacks kind of all over. And I was trying to study the knickknacks and trying to look at what was on the television. Okay,
well, she was enjoying.
I was enjoying. I was trying to take in the experience like it was an art piece.
But we
Charlie started
kind of speculated that
foot.
Bo Burnham might be there because he directed it, and it was going to be the last day of the first run, so we thought he might be there. And I noticed him right away because super tall, super skinny,
long hair.
He was definitely in what's the show on Netflix called? I forget.
Inside.
Inside. He's definitely still in inside mode with long hair and a beard covered with a COVID mask. But I saw Kate texting someone, and I looked over at the tall guy, like the timing matched of him texting her and both laughing at the same time. So then I put it together. And Gloria was off enjoying. So then I was like, oh, I tried whispering it to her because I didn't want to be like, there's Bo Burnham when Bo Burnham's standing right next to me.
Charlie was standing right next to Bo. And through his gritted teeth, Charlie was like, do you know how it is? And I was like, what are you talking about? Stop kicking me. And I look over and it's Bo Burnham. And his voice was unmistakable.
So it was exciting, but I never know what to say to celebrities. If you could do it over again, what would you have said to him?
I don't know. I wasn't mentally prepared. I don't really like interacting with celebrities too much unless there's a reason to chat with them. Like, this Smukes me saw on the subway. I probably would have said something about the show because we just watched it. But
he's a whole other topic. We go to Steve Martin Presents with Andrew Dismukes that him and his friend put on, and like we're super fans. We've been to it like 5 times. So I think he kind of recognizes we were front row. And
we sit front row as much as we can. I like being front row at those shows.
And then he came on the subway or was going the same way back. We were going to say something, but it was one of those things like, just leave him alone. I think he was getting ready for Seth Meyers the next day. So
I wanted to go up and say hi to him just quickly, but Charles was like, no. So we didn't. Next time. Well,
I think figured he just was up all night writing all week, just wants to stare at his phone and think of some new material. But I don't know what I would have said to Bo either. I loved the movie 8th Grade. I probably would have asked him some questions about the way he directed Chris Rock's special Tambourine because...
Oh, see, you would have way more questions for him than me.
I don't know if you can really jump into that. It's like you say hi, and you're like, can I ask you a question? And they're probably not into it, but I walk away.
They might. Some celebrities, I think, or some, folks like to talk about their work with people who appreciate it. You never know.
Yeah, I think I would ask them about Tambourine, because Chris Rock's always been animated, and his mic cord, he always yanks his mic cord's been his thing, and that special, he didn't do any of that, and I would love to know if that was Bo Burnham's idea or Chris Rock's.
I see.
Because maybe Chris Rock is just trying to be a slowed down divorcee. If anybody has any comments or things that they would have said to Bo Burnham if they would have encountered him that close, please put it on the message board.
What do you say to Bo Burnham?
What would you say to Bo Burnham?
So it's a one-woman show. We usually try to go through plot line and characters, but Kate plays herself, or a version of herself. So the show's about Kate, but tell us about Kate Berlant.
So I think we know her a little bit from a show we like to watch with Tim Robinson and your friends. I Think You Should Leave. It's a sketch show on Netflix. It's not for everybody, but it's... Tim Robinson was on Saturday Night Live, but his sketches are so outrageous and outlandish that didn't really work for that format, but found his audience on Netflix. And I love it. My brother loves it.
My friends love it. We quote it all the time.
It gets better and better the more you watch them.
Yeah.
I think if people want
There's a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah, and Kate's on an episode or 2 of it, just one.
Yeah, she's in one episode. She plays owner of the Garfield house, if you have any awareness of what sketch that is.
And I'll just leave it at that. So that's how we know her, and then we knew Bo Burnham was involved, so we were excited about that. And thought we'd give it a shot because we were doing some heavy plays, Death of a Salesman and things, so I talked Gloria into some comedy, and you were game.
I found the show, and I was like, we should go try to see this. But you're the one who, I think this was like an 8 o'clock rush ticket. So in the Today Tix app, they release rush tickets at a specific time depending on the show. I think it's either 8, 9, or 10 a.m. It was a Saturday morning, and you woke me up like 2 minutes before rush tickets were released, and we got them. We had been trying earlier that week, but we didn't have any luck. So another way to tell if a show is doing well or not is if rush tickets are difficult to get.
If they're easy to get.
Probably not a very popular show.
Yeah.
We tried for Straight Line Crazy rush tickets for the entire run. Pretty much every day we were here in New York, we tried. No luck at all.
Yeah, Voldemort is popular when he's on Broadway.
It was my goal that season to see Ralph Fiennes and Daniel Radcliffe on stage in New York City, but 1 out of 2, not bad.
Well, maybe he'll be in something else.
Maybe.
Did see The Chef.
The Menu.
The Menu, sorry. The Chef is that mediocre Jon Favreau movie where he makes like Cubanos. He was successful in one thing. It made me want a Cubano, and then to never watch a Jon Favreau movie again.
I like Jon Favreau.
I liked him. Swingers is okay. Elf is okay.
He's funny. He does all the new Star Wars ones. the
Yeah.
Mandalorian series.
I didn't love Iron Man 2 and 3. His best is when he's Pete on Friends.
That is a great callback.
Yeah. UFC.
he gets beat up.
Any spoilers for people that are watching Friends for the first time?
Anyway,
So now that people know who Kate is.
there's not. I don't know. What's the plot line? What would you say the plot line of the show is?
Well, I mean, it's her. It's based on. It's like she's the focal point, like her upbringing. So she jokes a little bit about her childhood, and it's kind of just playing with the whole installation thing about it being her, and then obviously technology jokes of the crowd failing her, and you don't know what like is real or what's screw up. Cues by the production team. You don't know if they screw up on purpose or it's her. So she's on stage and she's utilizing technology and screens, and
it's tough to explain.
I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to ruin it.
But
because
you have to at
it's
least
still showing. So.
But you have to at least explain that there's a screen behind her that flashes up text that guides the audience on the topic that she's talking about. There's some technical mishaps with that. She does play into that, which I think is a very Bo Burnham stylist.
Yeah, I mean, even her sitting in the lobby, like saying, "Don't talk to me."
If you've seen Inside, there's a lot of
Overlap.
stylistic overlap. Obviously, the content is all Kate, but Bo Burnham has his fingerprints all over this show.
The length, luckily, the length of this show for Kate was only hour 20, we think. Thank God, because we had to stand the entire time.
Yeah, standing room only for the rush tickets in the way back.
And you said I was like getting slouchy.
You were getting antsy, I felt like.
Yeah, I think I was for my back to go out.
That's
again.
what I was worried about. But it was worth it. You loved this show, despite the fact that we had to stand the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it, but I would love it even more if we were sitting down. And the Connolly Theater seats about like 60, you think?
No, it's way more than that.
100?
Yeah, probably like less than 200.
104 people to stand.
Around 200, I would assume.
Okay, I would say 120. We'll look it up later and we'll see who was right. So whoever's closer.
Are we doing Price is Right rules?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'm going to say 180.
I'll say 130 tops.
All right.
All right, as far as 3 highlights, you can go first.
3 highlights. I mean, seeing
Ladies first, unless you're feminist and you want me to go first and you're offended by me letting you go first. Yeah, checkmate.
Well, I've never...
Woke checkmate.
I never bring up feminism in there.
Oh, yeah, I think I bring it up more than you do.
I think you do. All right, 3 highlights. I would say, I mean, obviously, brushing shoulders with Bo Burnham is the #1 highlight of even being at that show. The installation pieces in the lobby I thought were hilarious. They basically put her name in everything. Like, it was called Tick Kate's. I forget what the other stuff was, but Kate was all hidden little Easter eggs all over the theater. And I mean, the show was good. She had that one bit where she interacted with the audience member. I think that was probably your favorite part of the show. She was really good.
I agree with the other two, but that one I concur with because I heard the usher laugh super hard, so I knew then it was completely improvised.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, you never know what these things.
You think she
for.
plants somebody in the audience every single night?
Yeah,
No
like,
way.
I don't want to give away the joke, but she was a really funny
Well,
joke.
it's probably a joke that won't be repeated.
Well, she asked the guy's name, and he said Ryan. She said, "Oh, Ryan, is that short for something?" So I thought that was super funny.
Yeah.
And he had a super boring job, and she kept playing on that.
It's like land something.
Yeah, that was a great interaction. The other highlights, it was cool running into a celebrity. I think more you and I just like to be right. I think we were like, he'll probably be there, and then we were like, he was there. So
I only said that because when we got the rush tickets, I was like, well, let's see if it's playing later this week, and it wasn't.
And tickets were jacked up because it was the
Yeah,
last.
normal tickets were jacked way
Which
up.
is a great marketing scheme from them to jack them up, and then we'll do another run since it was popular.
You never know though. Like if it flops, then it could be the last run.
It was a really cool neighborhood in the East Village. I don't think I had been there much before.
It's near that Tony's breakfast. food
Okay,
place.
well, we've been there once or twice before, so it was fun to see that area. We went to a really cool bar afterwards, where we got a nice $30 old fashioned. I think as far as
What was your
delusional,
low light?
I think I did see Greg Kinnear in the audience. We're going to the well on that one. The low light was our seats,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
lack thereof.
I agree.
But the crowd was cool. I think it was young, hip East Village crowd. Actually, it was a West Village crowd in the East Village, is what I think.
Definitely a younger crowd. There were some older folks there. I thought maybe they were parents of the people who produced the show or something.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. Once you're in there, you're almost like touching the stage.
Yeah, it's a smallish theater.
So I think it was cool to see the Connolly Theater. I don't think it was an architecture gem or like the other ones.
I think it's historic.
Is it? But yeah, like the highlights were just her. She was a really good set, and it was a play on one woman shows. So it was a comedy based on one woman shows, which is ripe for parody in my book.
She's very tongue in cheek. It's layered for sure. She plays a version of herself that is a caricature of probably who she really is. But she brings in elements of her real past. Like she went to school in New York and quote unquote grew up here, became an adult here, and she plays and riffs on that. And I think that's relevant for anyone who's trying to find their way in a big city for the first time.
And I cut back to the 90s and they play the 10,000 Maniacs. These are the days.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's like, back I was working at a coffee shop.
Yeah. So. It was so well done. There's so many inferences that put you in a certain mood or certain era, which is difficult to do because she's the only person on stage, but they do it so well.
Like you mentioned a little bit of the technology at the beginning, but they also have that one other camera that's showing a different angle.
Oh, yeah. That was funny. That she had a live camera that's just speaking into him. It would project her image on a larger screen. It looked like it was pre-recorded, but it wasn't.
All right, next we have our weekly delusional celebrity sighting. I don't think I had any. Did you happen to see Greg Kinnear or anybody? Did you run into one of Denzel Washington's kids? Do Nepo babies count? We have to decide. Do Nepo baby sightings count? And
I was kind of intrigued by the lady that Bo Burnham was talking to. She's wearing a COVID mask. Hard to tell who it was. It looked like it was probably a parent of somebody.
Isn't Bo Burnham's girlfriend a little bit older? Maybe it was her.
It was like a mom.
She's like 10 years older than
She had mom vibes. She had serious mom vibes.
Nudity? There was no nudity?
No nudity.
So pervs can stay home.
There was no merch that I am aware of because I probably would have bought it afterwards.
First run, too, maybe they were going to see how it was received at this point.
True.
Maybe they have some things.
True. Oh, but there is a audience takeaway that's part of the show. So look out for that thingy.
Even though we had standing room seats, we were able to procure a couple of those mementos.
Oh, there were beverages. I think they were selling beers and Topo Chico seltzers.
Yeah, we skipped that.
We skipped it, but mostly because I was standing room only. That might have helped. Who knows?
But yeah, overall, a great show. I think it was worth it. If I was going to do it again, I would try to get a seat.
Yeah.
But they were expensive.
They were really expensive. They were over $100 for regular
tough.
seats.
I don't know if
Yeah, would you have paid over $100?
Knowing now, I would. I enjoyed it so much. I'd love to see it again, sitting down.
Would you pay $100 to see it again,
No,
though?
I would pay $50 to sit down.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some of it. You spend so much time on stage by yourself that I assume that you have to do some sort of improv when you're up there. So it could be cool to see what's different about it. It was definitely worth rush tickets, even though we were standing.
Yeah.
So we paid $30 a pop.
And then we went in blind, right? We had no idea.
No idea.
Reviews. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen reviews since.
I'm not sure.
Google
I haven't
later.
really looked, to be honest.
So we can't really do that comparison of reality versus reviews. But on our scale, I would give it 4.5 Reggies.
Wow.
I think I'd give it 5 if we were sitting down. That's the only... But I loved everything about it. I loved the comedy. I loved the humor. I loved the way she played on One Woman shows.
I love that she talked a lot about New York City, quote unquote, growing up here, the nuances and how difficult it was, and love the Bo Burnham fingerprints on it too. Though his style is so unique.
And she had 2 or 3 songs, and they were used perfectly.
It felt like you were watching a sketch live, which to have a single person do that was just a lot of fun.
We kind of touched on it a bunch, but you didn't know what was on accident, what was on purpose, what was improv, what isn't.
You didn't know.
That was probably the whole
and there was a
genius
whole
of it.
build up to the peak of the show, which was awesome.
And you didn't know if that was fake. But
Yeah, there was even twists and turns that obviously weren't sitting down, but it put you in the edge of your seat.
So completely worth it.
So funny.
If you come to New York,
get
try and
Rush.
see it. East Village is fun.
Yeah, this is one of the shows that I recommend to my friends. I think it's still showing at the Connolly Theater for a little bit longer. Check your dates. depending on when this podcast goes live.
And if she won't go, I'll go with you.
So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 Reggie heads.
It's like Reggie and his tail, like 4 Reggies in his tail.
He is missing. He's missing part of his tail. Afterglow.
I just told you I'd see it again, so I think that answers
All
the
right.
question.
Oh, if you want to see more Kate Berlant stuff, she has another one-woman show that's on, I think, Prime or
Hulu. I think
what's
it's
it
on
called?
Hulu.
Cinnamon in the Wind.
Something like that. It's on Hulu, I believe.
Yeah. So that is a good introduction to who she
Prerequisite.
is. Yeah, and then she did that Netflix special. It's called, the Netflix show is called The Characters, and in her episode, that is a good tangential perspective of what she does in the Kate show.
Yeah, like the ingredients that she's gonna
Right.
serve.
It's similar, but not so much so that you'll understand. Like the fingerprints of that are all over this too.
Show you the type of humor that's
Yeah,
coming out.
humor, the style. Would recommend seeing those if you can't make it to Kate or want some inkling of what you're in for at Kate.
All right, tune into the next episode.
Episode 5. What do we think we're gonna review?
We could do another one that I haven't seen that you have. Maybe MJ. It's still playing. People
It's
might
true.
come to New York and want to see it. Or we can do Book of Mormon, which is never going to go away. MJ or Book of Mormon. People
Alright.
can vote on Spotify.
And we'll see you in episode 5.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay warm, Minnesotans.
Bye.
Bye.